It's a good amount of value, but I think T1 would just slam Rumble on 4. This time, though, they end up banning the lock away from Faker. Moving some of that skirmishing power we've seen from that pick. A bit of a feast of famine that we've definitely had for it. There's still a lot of mid lane options available. And will T1 take that up now? They actually go to Chef, which is a flex in this situation if they lock this in.
It's actually kind of cute.
So keeping Gen G guessing for the time being. We've seen a little bit of TF top lane when the situation calls for it, but not a ton.
I'm a little bit worried about a Silas angle. Destiny Gate really strong, and the Crescent Guard is kind of ridiculous.
It's good value,
you're able to get your hands on it. Possible angle here, we've seen the Silas into the TF before. Here's a lane you can kind of get through, but we'll see where Chovy's mind is going to be at as far as the answer to this. Fizz is still also up and available. They decided not to ban that one away, which, as it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, is a relevant thing to talk about. As K'Sante going to be locked in, that might help deny a Rumble, perhaps. Give it to us, Chovy. Show me the Fizz. What do you reckon? Is there a chance?
I don't think so. I think there's a lot of options available.
Zeka did it. He did it. It happened.
But Zeka is the melee guy.
I mean, Chovy played Aatrox and stuff.
Yeah,
That's Syndra.
Syndra makes a lot more sense.
Aw, I wanted the Fizz.
A lot of great scat of the weeks recently. BDD had a phenomenal game on the Syndra not too long ago.
He did.
And Chovy, someone who hasn't really lent on Syndra heavily in his career, playing it more recently and having some great performances. Also just a solid matchup in the TF. Assuming the TF is just going to go mid. And if it is, what are we going to get from Duran in the top lane?
He has to face off against the Keen Sante. Difficult one. But could also still be the TF in the top. We do know that, but the Ambessa is the option, and he will lock that one away. This is a pretty comfortable composition here for T1. T1 can bring us to that third game. I have a feeling that this composition should be capable of doing so. As Gen G make their way out, see whether they can also close this one out and deny it. All right, Gen G fans finding their voices here in game number 2, or at least I gave them space to find them this time around. I'll give myself a pat on the back for that one. Oner going to be using his own skin. I don't know whether Duro is using Keria's skin, though. That would be kind of cute. Chovy could also use Faker's skin.
This is an impressive invade here. And it makes sense. You have a Karma, you have a TF. Canyon's trying to match, though, and... Oh, this is a terrible spot to be in. He might just be doomed.
Yeah, I don't know where is he supposed to go now?
Next.
Well, he's going to give him the good old thumbs up as he does take a turret shot. There's the flash. Can he make it to the blast cone? The answer is he's not even going to press it. Oh, this is pretty good. Oh my god, he still dies. Yeah, so there's first blood over to Pace.
The reason he didn't blast cone was because he was one auto from death, and if he got locked in the auto animation, he would have just died.
Yeah.
So, try to be cheeky about it, and he is obviously completely screwed in the jungle.
Yes.
But Pace is very late to bot lane. He has picked up the cull here, but in the meantime, obviously Ruler and Duro just pushed the wave in and put on a ton of pressure.
What happened here in this top lane? That was hitting each other with stuff.
Violent.
Duro has taken care of his skin. It's just kind of cute. It is a pretty cool one.
Well, I think what is nice for Canyon is that Chovy moved down and kind of forced Oner away. Oner's gone back to his side of the map. He has 3 camps to kill, and then the Scuttle will spawn. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the when it's good for Canyon part.
No, it's never good for Canyon, but at least he has something to do for the time being.
Right. He can, yeah, he does have a purpose.
I think a big factor was Keen having a lot of prio in the top lane. If you try to invade on the top side, you could just get shut down. So...
Going to be teleporting back in here, as we can see. Doran actually sticking around, taking a little bit of damage here. Is nice little trade there from Ruler. Duro with the surround sound there to make sure that he stays safe. And right now the trading looking pretty good here for the Seraphine and the Ezreal.
Yeah, the level advantage goes a long way. And Paze went Ghost as well, which did help him land that kill, and is a good amount of value in teamfights, but in lane, not nearly as much power compared to like a barrier.
Well, that's what Ruler's taken, so it might give them a little bit of an opportunity here. Not going to let the beat drop is Duro, as the Essence Flux also goes wide, but so does the Q from Keria. And GenG will just push on up. Canyon will be able to get a Krug camp. That's something. Also got the Scuttle. Oh man, he's fine. By fine, I mean he's going to lose his Raptors again.
Yeah, the Raptor respawn being taken just feels really bad for Canyon. Especially those respawn camps give so much XP.
Yep. Well, he is going to be taking that one down. Canyon now moving towards his bottom side. Is that Krug camp going to be next on the menu? He's pinging it.
Yeah, he knows how to siphon away Doran's power by targeting the Krugs.
Yeah, see, that's what you got to do. He's taken 2 Krugs now. So many Krugs. Way more Krugs than Oner's taken so far this game. I was trying to work out a different thing, like the amount of Krugs, but there's no one else that had anything to do with Krugs, really, outside of Doran in general.
Yeah.
And Oner here in this game, so it's a bit awkward. Chovy going to scatter the weak here. Faker just going to pick up this wave. Pretty comfortable so far for the Twisted Fate.
Yep. Chovy's had a good amount of pressure, but not really enough to push Faker out. Level 6s won't be too far away. And obviously Faker can really open up opportunities to punish the map. Notably, no cleanse on Ruler. I didn't expect him to go it in this matchup in this game. But it does mean that a gold card down bot lane can be pretty punishing.
Yep.
For him specifically. If it was maybe like a Kate Lux, we could have seen a cleanse come through, but just gives more freedom to Faker to make plays happen.
Now, here towards his top side, I think I've been pretty impressed by how Keen has played this out so far. I feel like some ambassadors can certainly run away with this lane relatively early on. Keen is going to get more and more comfortable as he builds towards things like Thornmail and all this sort of stuff. Q going to be avoided, though, here by Doran. Level 5s for both of these top laners. Not quite with the all-out yet is Keen.
Have I ever told you about the stats that Ambessa gets at level 6?
Wow. You may have, but humor me. Can you please tell me about the stats that you just get for skilling up the ultimate, like right now?
Yeah, so you get free armor pen and healing.
Wow.
From doing that. Healing on your abilities. So it just makes trades way better, even if you don't ult.
Omnivamp and armor penetration. That's kind of crazy.
It is.
As Canyon's making his way over, Faker going to have the power unleashed upon him, but it will not kill him. And the Drake does go over to T1, looking for a bit of a reset here, but Faker with no flash will be susceptible. Oh, Keen getting some vision down. Oh, this jockeying for position is just it's kind of intense between these two top laners. Pathmaker comes in. There's the all-out from Keen. Looking for the angle here as Doran tries to throw down the ulti, but there is the Destiny Gate. Canyon looking to make his way in. The gold card connects, though, and down goes Keen. Canyon unable to stop it. He's just going to have to drag his way out of there. And even Oner is making his way up.
Yeah, they go for this play when Canyon was so far away. Keen kind of overplaying his cards there. Wasn't able to get a quick kill onto Doran. Canyon's not in position, and then, of course, the TF is just going to answer with the ultimate, so pretty costly.
Yeah, a bit of a weird moment there as Ruler getting some Mystic shots off. Not going to get hit by the net, but still takes the Peacemaker to the face, and my goodness, that does a lot of damage with a serrated Dirk in hand. That is the benefit of this Collector First build. And Ruler, I think, shifting forward. I don't know about that one. Flash does get him out, but he still gets snared. True Shot Barrage goes entirely wide. There's that barrier that's going to be used here, but one more auto when he goes down. And it's still the net to connect onto Duro, and every lane for T1 is winning.
Consider how this lane started for T1 for Pays in a scenario where he was down XP and was just getting harassed out, and now they find this winning 2v2, just outplaying Ruler there. And here we see King go for the play because Canyon's in the vicinity, but Canyon still has to walk all the way around. Shuffle is popped, and Canyon's like, you know what? You're on your own, buddy.
Yeah, and he was.
And here, so Ruler's lower from taking that Peacemaker earlier. He arcane shifts in, thinking the level 6 spike is big, but Keria flashes to keep the tether in range. The trap doesn't come through in time, unfortunately, but they're just able to run Ruler down. Even with the barrier there, it's not enough to keep him alive. Bit of a misplay from Ruler, but it's just a phenomenal punish from T1.
Yeah, really nicely played. Keria just, he was waiting for it. You could tell he immediately goes for the play, commits everything, and gets what he wanted. And so now, I mean, technically, it's perfect game pace here for T1 at this moment. And it's looking good for that third game, as Canyon might be able to cause a debate about grubs and perfect games, things like that. But I do not want to beat a dead horse. You know, we've done this one many, many times. Oner looking for an angle.
We'd never beat a dead horse in the LCK.
No, never. We're always about new things to talk about. As Oner going to be able to take at least one of these and then just bypass, looking for an angle towards the top lane.
Yeah, Smite nearly up for Canyon, so I think he just gets this.
Well, there it is. Just smites that one away. Chovy's moving up, and here is an all-out angle. Just pulls Oner through the small wall, and Keen just going to knock him down. That was beautifully done.
Yeah, really well played there. Great angle from Keen just to catch Oner off guard. Now he'll go for a heavy trade with the all-out and the red buff.
Yeah, actually gets to utilize a fair bit of all-out here, but another Destiny comes through. The gold card comes down. There's a public execution, and Keen just wants to flash his way out, gets to the wall, and does get over. Doran could have theoretically followed, did have vision there, but decides not to use his flash.
That was actually really cheeky from Faker. He was actually body blocking Keen there.
Yeah, from clicking to the wall.
He was trying to make him mess up his flash.
Oh, there's the scat of the week, and the commitment of the flashes here from GENG. Canyon eats the blast cone, but then actually leapfrogs Faker, so Faker's able to walk away.
Double flash from Canyon and Chovy, not to get the kill from on Faker, sorry, and not even getting anything from him because his flash is on cooldown.
All right, so a bit of a weird maneuver there from GENG, but I do like the proactivity, you know, going for something. As FaZe has almost closed the gap as far as the farm is concerned here towards this bottom side. I think it was the series against D plus Keria that FaZe played the Caitlyn. Yes, they lost, but they were incredibly far behind, and his Caitlyn still almost won them the game. Like, it was ridiculous what this guy's capable of on a late-game Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And let alone if he does manage to get ahead early. This is the get-ahead-early version. And so I think GENG fans probably a little bit nervous about how this one is going to continue.
Chovy is Chovying right now with a pretty substantial CS lead.
Yeah. Staying ahead in gold as like 0-0-1, like even score lines with the TF is impressive because he does cheat.
He does.
But that's a lot of fun.
When you get the, I don't know if you remember they did this change, when you get crit chance, it has a chance to roll
again.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy.
Kind of ludicrous. Unfortunately for Faker, hasn't actually built any crit just yet. But we'll have the rapid fire cannon coming in relatively
We'll look
soon.
forward to that.
Yep. Canyon now on the Krugs. Going to be taking another one from Oner here. As Keen does have his Thornmail, going to be pretty valuable against the extra Omni Vamp that the Ambassador gets from her ultimate by just skilling it up. As Orcs does really like.
What's really weird, it's technically not Omnivamp, it's just healing from abilities, which is what Omnivamp is, but it's not listed as Omnivamp. It's really weird.
Is that like a, does that make it an independent multiplier or something like that? I don't know how the math would work. Sounds awkward.
Yeah, they've changed Omnivamp so many times now, because like, it used to be you got a certain amount of healing from AoE, and then you didn't, and then it was like how much you did on minions.
Is it like how the old Xin Zhao W used to work? Where you just get health back when you hit? So it's
No,
really
it's not like that, because it still heals a percentage of the damage.
Oh, right, okay. Well, we got another Destiny to come on through here. There is a teleport from Chovy to get towards his top side, but Keen should be dead to start this one out. Never mind! He gets the shield, Faker's taken out, and Keen manages to keep himself alive until the flash comes in from Doran, but a 1-for-1 is not what T1 wanted. Canyon now going to be taken for a walk by Keria, gets snared. The Peacemaker does not quite land. Still a 3v3 here in this bottom lane. T1 are just going to walk away.
A little concerned at how fed Doran is now. I know Keen obviously appreciated he could kill Faker, who is disrupting his 1v1 he was looking for, but Doran now with 2 kills in pocket on a big spike as well, level 11 coming in 2. And we'll see the replay on this. The fact that Chovy ends up TPing in here, and specifically to this ward, not to the tower, means he's there in time to help with his play. It looks like Keen's going to go down, but Faker, just no cooldowns, doesn't really have the damage. I do think maybe Keen could have just started walking away sooner, kind of looked like he was trying to go back in a little bit, and just gave over that kill to Doran, but either way, it's a 1-for-1.
Canyon going to get a bit of a knock up here onto Faker, gets the Cataclysm down as Duro turns up. Chovy's here as well, but the Crescent Guard from Oner is going to be able to keep them alive. Still, Canyon gets out, gives them a good old thumbs up. It's a bit of a cute play. And Canyon, I mean, he's doing his best and actually does have a slight gold lead. The Encore going to get the flash out of Oner as he makes his way out of the river.
Yeah, notably Duro held the Encore while they're in the Cataclysm because the Crescent Guard was there, and he was like, I don't want to use this, and just hold him still for a bit but not do any damage. But ends up getting the flash from Oner in the end in that situation, so still picking up the value.
Pretty good stuff. Keen walking at Doran menacingly.
It's like he's just trying to get behind him to ult him back, and Doran's like, no, no, no.
Yeah. He's like, I have got 65 dashes. I will use 60 of them. Does manage to get himself out of the way. Oner. He's going to wander his way in here. No one's on the Krugs.
Okay, the lack of vision made it look really spooky, but Chovy'd already walked back to mid lane because there was CS to be killed.
Thank you, Jonah Strong, for keeping up the mystery. As Canyon knows what's going on here and tried to get it with a flag. That is very cute. Didn't, but still.
Okay,
worth a shot.
Switch up of the lane assignments. Chovy going top. Keen's looking to go bot lane. We just have TP to join in on the fight as the bot lane move mid. Herald is up in 45. T1 have managed to snipe 2 dragons this game already, and there's a Hextech Soul. This is the power of having that winning bot lane and that control there. Now, Oner...
Oh, he's just going to face check Canyon here. When becomes lightning, he's going to miss just barely. Canyon is going to try and get himself out of here. No one has taken the blue buff just yet, as Chovy might wander down to try and grab it. And we're listening to some singing in the background. It was a little bit crazy. Pretty cool stuff happening here as the game goes on. 2,000 gold, though, the lead for T1, and it's kind of crazy.
Wait, the lead for T1 and the lead for Pays?
Sorry, the lead for Pays.
Ah, yeah.
And that is just, like, I guess he finished the quest earlier and also managed to cash in a cull.
I mean, they got the bot lane tower.
And they got the bot lane tower. So
thing
first
is,
turret is probably the problem.
Quest earlier doesn't make that much difference because, you know, over the course of the game...
Yeah, sorry, I thought that, like, Ruler maybe hadn't have completed it
yet.
But never mind, he does. So that, I was like, how is he this far ahead? But I think the turret is probably what tells more of the story.
Definitely a big factor. It always feels bad on Ezreal when you are behind compared to a crit champion and you hit your spikes when they hit them, like the 3-item spikes. Also, Ruler's tier, only at 195 stacks, is pretty low at this point in the game. I think stayed in lane for a while and didn't recall for it for some time. But it means that that Mermana spike is going to come pretty late.
Oh, Canyon looking for an angle here. There's just Cataclysm. Just straight up going to use it. The all-out comes through, and Faker is really dead.
You know, there's a lot of situations where we've seen players TP or Realm Warp or Destiny out of sticky situations. When a Cassante is on top of you, I just think it's not happening.
I probably, like, hands up, you know.
Yeah,
take me now, God, is kind of the move that you'd go for there. And, you know, the Destiny will come back up relatively soon, so no harm, no foul. Still, nice little pick back here from Gen G.
He been King's ult for it, so I don't think it's bad that he used it, but it is just kind of a funny situation where it's like, oh, how much CC do I have in my kit?
Yeah, and no all-out, no Cataclysm for this dragon fight. Could be a little bit problematic. Double TPs, bring them in, and Faker's TPing top. Yeah, so
they're not contesting this.
They do not want to bother.
They have the comfort room of having those 2 dragons in pocket, where they don't have to contest this one, but obviously does give...
It is a Hextech.
Yeah, gives some nice stats, but also just the fact that T1, if they'd had 3, could have really put this game on a timer.
Well, Doran looking for a bit of an angle here. The flag is on the ground, and there's a public execution. I think Canyon... Oh, he does manage to get that flag back off cooldown and gets himself out of the pit.
And Faker's just going to pick up the tower on the top side, so extending the goal lead that they have in trade for that dragon.
And the control ward going to be protected here by Chovy, but the turret does go down, so that is two turrets to nothing. That 2,000 gold lead will stick around, still on Pays. He is just kind of the guy right now. Does want to get out of the trough, right? You want to get to 3 or 4 items before you're really comfortable on the Caitlyn, blah, blah, blah. We like to talk about this all the time.
Yeah, also, I think when Keria gets Mikhail's, fights are going to feel a lot better because, you know, Pays did go that ghost, but there's a lot of abilities on the other side that are going to pose an issue. We've got the early Helia pickup, which is great in skirmishes. The extra healing has a lot of value. You can easily proc the damage that you need to set it up on Karma. But Mikhail's is a make or break sort of item here.
Yeah. You will be building towards that next, I would assume. Rift Herald does go over to Canyon, though, as Gen G do get back a modicum of control. despite that gold advantage going over to T1. Feels like the tempo vibes are shifting a little bit, as they were all T1s at the beginning of this game. They were just kind of stomping them in these early lanes. Now that we've shifted out of that, things are looking a little bit better for Gen G. But we will see. As T1 probably wanting to fight for the next dragon. I think giving up 2 to get both teams to double dragon is not what you want. I think T1 need to continue the pressure here. As Scatter the Weak connects onto Oner, he takes a lot of damage from Chovy. Man, how many splinters does this man have? Quite a lot. Inside Booty on the left there. 89. That's quite a few splinters already.
Yep. Large number. And he's approaching having the Chovy belt as well. He's been farming like crazy. This is a very Chovy game.
Yeah.
Crazy farm. Go on the Chovy belt second.
200 at 18 minutes is not bad.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, Ruler has more.
Okay, that's even more crazy.
But I think it's just more Chovy's farm in relation to Faker. Faker obviously been trying to roam a good amount.
That really puts into context just how far ahead FaZe is. Because Ruler's farming like this, and yet FaZe is still 2,000 gold ahead.
Yeah.
All right, Ruler is at least 70 stacks away from that tier being fully completed. We'll have that Manamune relatively soon as well, which will stack it up a little bit quicker. A little bit of a zoom in here towards this mid lane as Duro does go back home. And ace in the hole, just to be annoying. And he will be successfully annoying. There's the Chovy belt, though. Dash cannon now done for the Hextech Proto belt. We've said multiple different names that are not correct.
Yeah, just throw them all out there.
Yeah,
one of them's
exactly.
gonna stick.
One of them's correct, guys. Multiple choice. Which one do you think it is?
That'd be a good question.
Chovy belt, obviously.
Yeah, obviously,
correct
of
one.
course.
Yep.
Yeah.
Despite what's written in the game. Speaking of Chovy, he's going to use his belt to throw himself towards Faker. Wildcards come out. He's going to look to escape, and he will successfully do so.
Yeah, no Kasante this time.
Yeah, and Canyon just not close enough to get a flag and drag for the knockup, and so the gate will be successful. But now that tool is not up for T1 for the next little while.
I think that Kasante, Keen going double armor items already. When you look at T1's composition, Faker is the magic damage. That's it. And TF never really been much of a tank buster.
I think he can keep building armor items.
Yes, I think he definitely
Just
can.
never stop.
Like, he has the Merc Treads for the CC, and then maybe you get like a Jack Show later, and that's just enough MR in this game.
Agreed.
And then just raw armor for the rest of your build is going to make things very difficult for T1 to cut through.
Even just build a Warmogs or something like that, you know? Like, health is just good enough, surely. As Faker is not going to get hit by the Scatter of the Weak, but there is the ulti to come through from Duro, and this time, he's exceptionally dead.
Yeah, it's a big commit from Gen G, the fact that you used the flash from Duro as well, but I don't think right now there's anything T1 can really make use of it. But in 50 seconds, that Dragon's going to be up and available.
Yeah.
And you burned... I mean, I feel like the ults are going to time up pretty quickly, but Duro's flash being down is a cost that you've incurred to get Faker killed.
Well, Ruler does Arcane Shift out of danger. Chovy is going to be able to take this outer turret. He's going to bring this gold lead under 1,000.
Ruler nearly has the Romana stacked up. Needs 24 stacks, and we'll see the replay here. Duro's flanking round. The stun not connecting is the big thing. So the stun connects, they can just easily chain the CC. And Duro wanted to flash to secure the ult so he doesn't flash over the wall, but now that is down. And actually, the Encore's miles away still. It's a pretty long cooldown, so not having that for this Dragon feels pretty bad for
It's a big deal.
Gen G.
They should have enough stacks on this Muramana, though, for Ruler. As this wave is going to be taken down. Teleport in from Faker. Goes over some wards. Gen G just going to try and get themselves through this trap line. As Faker gets on top of a control ward. Doran is behind them as well. This pincer maneuver could be really deadly. But Keen just walks forward. This guy is a brick wall right in front of T1, and they take control of the Dragon. T1 solo lane is still behind, though, as there's a public execution, but it goes wide. Now Oner does have that ulti running. The Dragon's taken by Canyon, though, and Oner's already on the floor. Duro taken out, but he didn't have the ulti anyway. Doran has to flash away, and Gen G maybe just get out with the spoils. Still Ruler able to Arcane Shift on top of Faker. The old man battle is won by the AD carry this time around as they both blow their flashes, and Gen G push up the mid lane.
The smite from Canyon is good, and despite the fact Duro doesn't get to use his ultimate, it's still a good fight for Gen G. They're able to control the pace of it, and really it feels like T1's bot lane just couldn't get in a position to get out the damage.
All right, this is exactly the time that GenG wanted to fight, though, around Ruler with these 2 items completed. Let's check out the replay.
Yeah, Keen plays bounce here onto Oner, and then Oner dashes in as Keen buys time for the bot lane. Chovy executes Oner, Canyon gets a smite, and this whole time, Paze and Keria just hitting Keen, and he just doesn't seem to be taking any damage.
He goes all out, and so that at least gives them the slight ability to do so, but they're looking at this. I mean, Jack Shows is going to come in next, and yes, that has a little bit of MR, but that is still even more armor!
Yeah.
My goodness. Frozen Heart after that?
Thing
You
is,
know, like,
Paze
how far can we go?
Paze went the Last Whisper early, but you really need the completed Last Whisper item, not just the component. And then probably some more to be able to cut through Keen in this game.
Can we stack Black Cleavers again? Is this classic? Maybe that's an option. I don't even think you can do that in classic. That was broken back in the day.
They are going to have Black Cleaver from Doran and Oner, but...
and actually, it didn't get the passive, did it? It was just had really good stats, and you stacked the passive way faster if you had more of it. That was how it worked.
Still not the most broken stack. I think the Sunfire, 6 Sunfire.
That's a banger.
With the invisible champs.
Yep. Just be Evelyn and permanently be stealthed and just kill people by walking behind them. Oh, what a beautiful game. Lovely times. But that is not the times we're living in now. Times we're living in now is a dream of a 3rd game that T1 needs to bring us to.
Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, Ruler is, he was behind, wasn't he?
He's spiking at this point. Also, those Hextech Soul stats, they're not increasing his damage there, but the ability haste and attack speed feels so nice on an Ezreal.
Well, Paze does have to go home.
This is not looking too positive right now for T1. Kind of losing this pressure in the mid lane, and really it's GenG are pushing up, and now corralling into the enemy jungle. You can see Keria trying to contest the vision, because obviously Baron's on this side of the map. But there's going to be 5 members of GenG here soon, with Keen just making his way over. Faker's pushing in the side lane.
This is kind of what the behind Twisted Fate kind of does. Just try and get as much pressure elsewhere on the map as you can. Use your global ability in order to make things happen. We'll be able to get that wave to crash on down. Does get Keen to move on over, but his teleport is back up in a couple of moments' time. And aim of the game now for T1 is don't lose as much as you can and let Paze get to 4 items. 3 items is not enough. 4 items is what he's going to need. Lord Doms needs to come on through, unless Mortal Reminder. Maybe it's Lord Doms this time around. It's got to be. There it is. Yeah. You got to be able to get through Keen somehow. And let's see whether this is going to be enough. He needs attack speed as well, though. Like there are so many things, like so many boxes that need ticking before T1 are ready to fight.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with the Caitlyn is her late game is insane, and obviously when you get like full build, especially because AD carries get an extra item, you are able to shred these tanks, but right now it just doesn't feel too comfortable, especially when Keen finishes that Jack show. It's going to be a little bit awkward with how much time he can just buy, and there's not really anyone who can help that much. Like, Faker can stun him, but doesn't do that much damage to a tank. Now, they are looking for Ruler here.
Yeah. Oh, Arcane Shift into the wall is not what he was looking for, so he's taken out. That looks similar to the Ruler spot. Is now GenG. There's a minute left on this Dragon. 10 seconds to get Ruler to book it back over here if he wants to be here in time for that Drake to come up. Soul point for either team.
There is Hex Gates, so I'll help him get
on
the
the
map
true.
sooner. One thing that's nice, though, not a ton was committed here by T1 in terms of resources. They still have a lot of big ults. Keria obviously beating the flash, but...
Oh, public execution. The flash does come out from Chovy. Is Doran taking a bit of damage? Flash traded for an ultimate. You're going to be pretty happy for that if you are T1, as Paze nets himself out of the way. And 2 seconds. Ruler is now going to be back up. 10 seconds on the clock, as we can see. Get to that base gate, Ruler, or to the Hex gate, I should say.
Line of traps are good, but that's the thing. Keen can just tank them up. Yeah. And if you headshot, you can just use the W channel to reduce the damage. He's cleared them all out. All the traps are gone. And T1, I know I said last game, I said T1 have had this tendency to sacrifice dragons, to sacrifice souls when it's not a good fight.
Quadra Hextech Soul!
Yeah, normally it's with like Mountain or Ocean or Chemtech. Hextech is a big one, and now they didn't sacrifice a soul, obviously, but getting it to this point is very precarious. But T1 deem it's not a good angle for them. They don't want to take the fight, and they back away. and give over that massive boost to Gen.G. One away from that Hextech Soul.
And it's
scary space to be.
And Ezreal makes use of this probably better than any other champion in the game, is the way I feel about it. And so Ruler is going to be such a problem for T1 to deal with. Obviously, if he stands in the Ruler spot more often, then they will be fine. Pays finds a lot of damage there. Ace in the hole comes down, Arcane Shift comes in, but Doran gets the angle. However, it is just not good enough to lock this one down. Destiny comes in. The gate brings Faker over, and he does manage to stun up Keen. But Keen doesn't even really look like he's noticed yet. Does take about a third of his health bar, but that'll come back.
Doran trying to find the angle, but now he's down his flash, and Ruler, Enduro, Barrier, Heal, Encore, all lower cooldowns than that flash that is now unavailable for the top lane of T1. It's not the best feeling in that trade, but you can see the angle he was looking for.
Yep. And Doran still having a fantastic game, still on that killing spree on this Ambassador. They just haven't really been able to find an angle, and Keen's value is just getting higher and higher as this game gets later, being that big old front line to just buy time for Chovy and Ruler to get that damage through.
Yeah, honestly, Doran's had a pretty fantastic series so far, but I feel like this game is a pretty tricky one. A lot of CC flying out in these fights. And, you know, you got that flash from Chovy earlier, but Ruler with the Arcane Shift and having flash out of target to pin down. Pace takes a lot of damage there.
Yeah, even netting away, but not able to get out of range of that Mystic shot. Chovy now has a really cool hat.
He's gotten the Seeker's Arm Guard and the Rabadons, similar to last game.
Yep.
Canyon nearly has GA, but not quite. They could feel like this is enough for them to potentially threaten the Baron, but honestly, if you have 3 dragons with Hextech Soul, why rush it?
Yeah.
I think you can look towards that Soul fight when Canyon will have a GA finished as well, and feel, oh, you can just stop that.
Well, they're going to start it. Let's see how this one's going to go. They do dive on top. The control ward in the back of the pit will immediately get taken down, but full information is now there for T1. Question is, does it actually matter? The Destiny comes out. That's more information. Wind doesn't quite become lightning as now Doran takes a Hex Gate to get over. Now Faker off to the side. Gen.G looking for a turn, but where do they turn? They're currently being surrounded. Faker has immediately moved his way over to the rest of his teammates. Oner taking a bit of damage from that one as now Doran's caught on the flank. Public execution gets him on top of Ruler, but Ruler doesn't even really care. He's just going to throw that damage down the Encore. Somehow clips onto Faker as Doran will be taken out. Now Oner is going to get snared. Keen tries to flash on top of him, but it's a gorgeous ultimate for the disengage out of the T1 jungler. He is not likely to go down just yet, but it's still a 1-0 in favor of Gen.G. And they are on the hunt. They have so much mobility with Ruler just arcane shifting forward over and over again.
They're recalling Keen. They're going to TP him back in on full HP. T1 have to approach again. 30 seconds on Doran with his teleport. That Baron is going down quick.
Yep, Hex Gates might be able to get Oner back here to watch,
Oner,
but yeah, this is not happening. I don't think he's going to be able to get there in time. Ruler gets over the wall. Oner is going to show up. Wind becomes lightning. They know that this is close, but it's secured by Canyon. You see them hold off on the damage for a moment there to see whether he's going to go for something, but he doesn't actually manage to do so.
The big thing now, look at the item spikes coming on the left of your screen. Medjai's, GA, Moonstone.
God.
The only flash burned on the side of Gen.G was from Keen, so Gen.G feel really comfortable to fight after this, and this fight ends up very split. They chase down Doran here who has no flash. In the meantime, T1 are focusing down Keen. You can see at the top of your screen, just clipped off a little bit, and they just can't kill him in time. They just don't have the damage to cut through him. Keen lives, doesn't even try to go for an ult on Oner, but the Crescent Guard stops that from being possible. And now Faker is just in trouble. Even, I think he just spammed and pressed Destiny, but it was not an ideal situation. He wasn't going to get it off anyway.
Yeah.
And now Gen.G, Baron in hand, pushing the bot lane. T1, they have a wave, but I think Keen could probably just maybe give over one tower, but they're not, you're going to get more than that.
There is also an Ambassador in the top lane as well. It's kind of an interesting little attempted trade. You can see it's kind of working right now as the Rebel Baron power play has not really changed, but if they lose their Nexus, then it's probably not worth.
Yeah, you see the ult from...
Yeah, if that had to stop Pays, it could have been really problematic, because yeah, Gen.G are just continuing with these minions.
The thing is, they don't need to do any more here. They can just back off and pick up the Dragon. Fake is not going to be available for it. No TP, no Destiny. He doesn't have a route back in. And Faker was just a little bit overextended here. Chovy trying to get in range. But then he saw that he was being flanked by Canyon. He was just kind of doomed.
Yeah.
There was the Destiny where it was just like, you know, doomed if you do, doomed if you don't. It wasn't.
You may as well press the button. But now it is that Quadra Hex Deck X Soul.
Oh.
And that's a lot of cool stuff.
And look at the items. We just got Endless Hunger from Ruler. We have the 10 stacks on Chovy's Medjais, and honestly, Syndra with the Ionians and the 10 stack Medjais, you're so mobile, you're so fast actually, so much movement speed when you're hitting champions.
Yeah.
So this is feeling pretty impossible for T1 right now. They need a hero moment. They need to catch Ruler or Chovy off guard and just pick them off. That's the only route back in here.
Well, don't catch Keen, because he won't notice. He doesn't really mind. So probably aim for somebody else. Endless Hunger, like you were saying, is now completed. Ruler looks like he's going to go for the Maw of Malmortius as the fifth item, sorry. A lot of flexibility on the Ezreal.
QSS also decent.
Yep, not too bad.
Right now,
the siege
being built.
Oh, goodness me.
Look at all those cannon minions.
That is 4! Why is there 4? That doesn't seem fair. All right, True Shot Barrage not doing too much, but the Scout of the Week is fantastic. Pace gets clipped. But there is a Mikhails. That gets him out of the way, but now Mikhails not going to be available for the next play. As the scatter onto Faker is dangerous, but he is close to his Nexus turret. Oner goes in. Crescent Guard to keep him alive. Doran a little susceptible, but
look at that bot
just
wave
continuing to push. Yeah,
pretty
exactly,
massive.
man. It is high seas today. The waves are getting out of control. And T1 having to deal with these super minions moving forward. The smite helps Oner out as far as that is concerned. But GenG not going to bite off more than they can chew. 4 minutes on the Elder, 2.5 minutes on the Baron. They will just back off.
So much damage done, though, to the base. Obviously, with the Baron timing out, they can't really push more into the Nexus towers, but the side lane inhibitors being down just puts so much pressure on mid because you're trying to deal with waves top, waves bot, and they can just push there. Canyon in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's going to flash, but I don't know whether he's actually going to be able to escape because Pace is able to put him in a trap so comfortably. G8 does nothing when there is a Caitlyn, and down goes Canyon. A possible angle here, but there's still 2 minutes on like anything relevant.
Yeah, it buys time, allows them to clear up the waves, which is going to give them a good amount of gold. That's nice, but ultimately it doesn't really change. You're not able to pick up like a Dragon or a Baron right now. But you do bin his Flash and his GA, which are long cooldowns you won't have available. This is a good play from T1, finding an angle to be proactive, but they need a lot more like this to change the state of the game.
Yeah, Ruler also able to find a little bit of damage there, as now Oner off to the side. He's going to take a lot of damage. Does have his Crescent Guard though, so he is a little bit more tanky than you'd expect. 16 seconds left on Canyon. And GenG still on the offensive as they push up this mid lane. The only one they really have left as far as a way to approach. Pays 5th item now done. Very scary.
Oh, Hexkit coming in, they're looking for the flank.
There's the flank angle. Kind of beautiful here as the public execution goes wide. Faker is then left on his own, and he's executed. And now Keen in that front line, exactly where he wants to be. Doran dashing around. The encore doesn't quite work onto Oner, but he still has to go in because he had no other way to go. But Pace is able to get the snipe onto Ruler. Keen is flashing away, and T1 still on the retreat. But I don't think GenG are winning the game off that one.
But Pay's an absolute monster there. Just when things start to look like they're going in the bin for T1, he steps up and kills the rival AD carry. The problem is their base is still being threatened, and it's so hard to step up to Chovy.
Yeah, Chovy's still like 8 seconds left on another ultimate. And so if anyone walks up, they may just kind of die. He does so much damage at this stage of the game. And the inhibitor is going to fall. Chovy was dashing forward, actually tries to find Pace, but he gets so much healing and shielding out of Keria that it looked like it just didn't really do anything. 15 stacks on that Medjais, but I think Chovy wants a Void Staff before he's really going to be executing this Caitlyn with a Bloodthirster now done.
Yeah, I mean, this is the major threat now, is that Pace has 5 items completed. That Bloodthirster as well means it's so hard to poke him. Bloodthirster in Ezreal honestly just makes it such a challenge. The Mystic shots just aren't going to cut through when he's healing on every auto, and a crit headshot from a Caitlyn is so much health back in these fights.
Oh yeah. Doran is also level 20 with a Death Dance now done. Moonstone does come on through here for Duro. Pace is making his way out of base though, and this Baron will just be gone. There is just nothing that T1 can do about it.
Yeah, the problem is Elder's in a minute, and honestly, with how strong Pays is, it's not impossible to see T1 finding an advantage in an Elder fight, finding an angle in. The gold is even at this point. The problem is, Gen.G should never let it be an Elder. They have Baron, they have super minions mid and top, inhibitors exposed bot. They can just play through the minions, and they should win on the back of that.
Yeah, it's about the 6th man at this stage. Keen hits level 20. And T1, they need to try and work this one out. The public execution doesn't really do too much.
It's the right sort of play to go for. You need to start the fight soon before these minions build up, but that nerf that they had to Ambessa that slows it down makes it so hard to connect.
Yeah, and the setup is just not quite there. Scatter the Weak is phenomenal. Somehow manages to spread all the way out onto the two opposing sides there for T1. No one actually going to get engaged on just yet, though. It is just poke, but that poke is deadly, especially with Hextech Soul up and available. True Shot Barrage not doing too much as Faker. My God, the damage out of Ruler is absurd. Faker has to go back to the fountain, but at least he's still alive for the moment. Now the fight.
That's a big headshot.
Yeah, Pays. When he does manage to get these shots off, he is so dangerous. Scatter the Weak, not going to affect Pays. Not a whole lot of weakness here for this guy.
Super minion pushing in bot. Once it's triple waves, I think it's just game over. Although we have the inhib respawning top. Gen.G will just clear that out immediately. But it does mean the super minions are a little bit staggered, but it's still so hard to defend. T1 doing a great job of buying time. But is it going to be enough?
They're doing the best that they can. This poke damage kind of ridiculous as they're
there's
looking for a flank angle from Doran. He makes his way in. Chovy taking a lot of damage. He flashes. He get out of the way. It's a phenomenal scatter as the Encore. Not really doing too much, but they take out the Ambessa. And Canyon gets on top of Pays. The beat drops, and so does the Caitlyn. It's a double for Ruler, and I think Gen.G may have just returned the favor to T1 as they are going to be unable to win any of their games